Hey friend, hope you're having a good day. Welcome to my channel. I'm Heather and I love helping you find your creative voice. Today I am excited to share with you my 5 reasons why oil painting is far easier than acrylic or many other mediums. I know many of you out there will be thinking, but oils are so hard and I don't know how to do it and it's just complicated, and I thought that once too. But today I am going to bust all those myths because I've gone down that journey and I've had hundreds of students, even beginners, come into my class and have that same fear, but then have gone out of that doorway and out of that course having much more confidence. I also want to share with you a course that I've just developed which will help you discover how easy oils are, and there's a link below, but more about that later. Let's get on and I want to share with you those 5 reasons. I can remember going into my auntie's house and it smelt like turpentine, and I remember thinking she's an amazing painter and I would never be able to do that. It looks so complicated, and I remember that from way back then until a few years ago when a friend of mine said, "Why are you using acrylics?" I'm like, "But oils are so hard to use, aren't they?" And he said, "No." And he showed me, he took me to, the art shop, and he showed me all the colors and he showed me how to use them. And I all of a sudden I went, oh my goodness, what have I been worrying about? So I don't know if you're anything like me, but I know from the hundreds of students that have come through my studio who have basically felt the same, scared about using oils. Today I want to help you know that they're not at all scary. One of the things that can hold you back probably, and did me, is when you look up books and online, they talk a lot about, fat over thin and using different mediums and lots of different brushes and all sorts of technical things like chroma and tones, and all the mediums was the thing that really scared me. Things have changed a lot over the years, and if you want to go down that track of really looking into the masters and mastering the techniques that they do, that's an incredible thing to do. But it is complicated, or it can be complicated. It can be time consuming. Go down that track if you like, but I am here to tell you that it doesn't have to be that challenging and that complicated. Oil painting is easy, and today I'm going to tell you 5 of the reasons why I actually think they're easier than any other medium. So the first one is about drying time. You've probably heard that oils take a while to dry. This is my own experience again. For me, they can take about 4 days to touch dry, depending on the temperature and also the type of medium that you use. But they do take a while to dry. But the wonderful thing about that is that you can blend beautifully. You can move the paint around. You can do things with paint that you just wouldn't be able to do with watercolor and also acrylics and other mediums. Oils are just so beautiful to work with in that way. So just a practical example of that, I was just looking through my paints and one of them doesn't have a lid. Well, there's a few that don't have lids. I work quickly. Sometimes the lids do get lost. Don't hold that against me. I'll find them at some point. But the point is, if I put this out, this hasn't been used for quite a while, like probably weeks. Look at that. It's still wet. It's still wet. If that was acrylic paint or watercolor paint, that tube would be really, really dry by now. I reckon it's been, I don't know, a couple of months since I've actually used that paint. Maybe only a month actually, but quite a few weeks. So drying time is a real advantage for oils. The second reason sort of relates to the first in that the drying time is slow, so therefore you can actually spend time learning to mix the colours and not be so rushed with that. I love watching my students, especially students who've never played with colour before, just sitting there with their palette and a few different colours and just trying to move the paints around and see what happens when I mix that one and that one and that one. If that was acrylics, you would find that, after 20 minutes or so, those oils, the acrylics would be dry and they'd have to get more paint out. So you probably actually save in paints as well by not having to mix so many colours, especially when you are starting out. So number 3, I'm smiling because number 3 is about the cleanup. Cleaning brushes. If any of you know me well, if you've heard me talk or been in my classes, you know I do not like washing brushes. Even if it was acrylic or watercolour or whatever, I'd be like, I want to move on to the next thing. It's a bit of an ADHD type thing. But I have found some really great hacks in how to do that. Now, the proper way to clean brushes is just with a bit of dishwashing liquid and also a little bit of oil, bit of cooking oil. Dishwashing liquid breaks down the oils and the oil actually just softens it and they come up really nice. But if you are like me, and you do not get time or don't make time to wash your brushes straight away because you're on to the next thing. And when I teach in classes, and often I'm, doing things in between classes. If you put your brush down, if it was an acrylic brush, it would be dry in the next couple of hours. But if you put your oil painting brush down and you haven't washed it, you can come back to it the next day. It's not ideal, I know, but I know because I have worked out the absolute maximum amount of time you can leave a brush sitting on the bench. I do some really silly hacks like putting them in the freezer and fridge and stuff, and it does slow it down. It actually works pretty cool. Many of you won't like that idea, but I love it. I find ways. But the point is that the oil paint dries slower, so therefore you have more time to wash your brushes. So number 4 is my favourite, which is you can cover up your mistakes. Yes, you can. Oils are so beautiful like that. It's very hard to cover up mistakes with acrylics and watercolour, but with oils, you can layer on top. You can also rub it off. If it is wet, you can just get a rag and just rub the paint off and just start again. It is so awesome. And I think that's why I love teaching with the oils, because in that way you're like, well, that's okay, let's just try it again, let's have another go, and you don't have to fear that canvas, you don't have to fear putting the paint on, because if you get it wrong you can just cover it up or you can wipe it off and have another go. So it's pretty cool. So number 5 and the last one is the techniques. Now this is one of the things that daunted me the most, was when I was looking at people who were painting beautiful paintings and they were talking about all the different mediums and the wet on wet and all the different terminologies of chroma and colours and tones, and it was getting really complicated, and I just went, I'm just going to try just one medium and some oils. I really loved my friend who had just come out of uni actually and more up to date with the what was happening here and now, and he just said just use one medium and these particular oils, which are really good quality oils, and you'll be fine. I've done acrylic paintings and I can see when I look at my paintings that they look a bit more plasticky and shiny when they're finished, rather than the oils feel a lot more organic and a lot more beautiful to even touch. So there is a real difference I've noticed in, it might be just the oil paints and the acrylics that I've used, but experiment for yourself. But I really feel like the oils are much more beautiful in their finish. I want to assure you that you don't have to go down that track of thinking about using different mediums, different techniques of underpainting and layering and all that sort of thing. My process and my teaching is about just starting simple. We just start in one corner and then we go across to another corner. And I break it down into grids and small areas, and I tell you exactly step by step what to do as we go. I want to share with you some of the quotes from some students that will highlight some of the things that I've been talking about, especially to do with oils being easy, and also about how, the masters and that, it can feel a little bit overwhelming. It's not an overwhelming medium. Hopefully from the 5 different things I've said, you can see that they really are not something to be scared about at all. So check out the course I have below. It's at paintingwithheather.com/waterdrop. So here's some of the quotes that will highlight particularly what we've been talking about today. This one I love. I had always thought that oil painting was very difficult to do. I'd studied the paintings of masters like Caravaggio and Rembrandt, where their technical skills in oils are extraordinary. Heather's oil painting class took out the daunting factor and gave me the confidence to just get started and enjoy it. She made oil painting simple and fun, and that is so true with the course, especially the one that the link's below, that it is, I've just make it so easy for you. Here's another one. I really enjoyed Heather's Waterdrop course. From the very beginning of the course, I felt supported by Heather's warm and encouraging manner. Although it's an online course, it really feels as if you are there in the room together. It felt like the length of the course was just right. I would highly recommend people try this, especially if they're scared of oil painting. Yes, I like that. And the last quote I have here is, before I joined Heather's oil painting classes, I'd work with acrylics, watercolours and pastels, believing that oil was too challenging a medium. I now realise that oil is a far more flexible and enjoyable medium to work with. Heather's magic breaks down the skills to manageable chunks of work. I'm now a very happy convert to oils. So, my friend, if you are nervous about using oils, or if you've used oils and it's just been hard and you've lost your mojo, I really encourage you to go and have a look at my course. You can also get a bonus coaching session with me for 45 minutes if you choose to go down that track. There's a few different bonuses. So a quick recap. What are the 5 things? Number 1, oils dry slower, so therefore you can blend beautifully, you can move the paint around, it's so much easier. Number 2, because they are slower drying, you get time to mix colours and enjoy that process. Number 3, brush cleanup is no stress because the brushes can be left a little bit longer than they would, and you can clean them up when you've got that time. And number 4, you can cover up your mistakes. Yay, 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 which is very cool. And number 5, simple techniques. I'm all for simple techniques. You don't have to follow the complicated techniques of oil painting, but you can make it really simple. So there's 5 amazing reasons why you can start doing oil painting today. I really want to encourage you, oil paintings really aren't as daunting and scary as you might think. Love to hear your comments about oil painting, how you found it below, if you found it difficult, what you found easy, what's some of your tips and pointers that you might like to share with others also. So again, the course is below at paintingwithheather.com/waterdrop. Go and have a look at it. I'm excited that some of you will join me for a Zoom and one-on-one coaching session with me. There's not many openings for that, so get in if you're interested. And until next time, keep creating. Go and have a little explore with oils. And even if you don't, join up to this course, I really encourage you to not be afraid because it's the most beautiful medium out. It's changed my life. It's changed many of my students' lives. And it is just the most rewarding medium. How do I describe it? Oils for me take me to a place where I just couldn't go in any other way because it slows me down, especially the photorealistic way. I love how it makes me feel, and I also love teaching it because of that, because I've seen the change in people's lives. So have a go. I'd love you to experience it. If you're brave enough, come and join me. Until next time, keep creating.